Just asking Chris.
There,
Oh, yeah, there we go. Cool.
there it goes.
So I'll just restart so you can get from here again. So yeah, we're in my campaigns dashboard now. And if I need to connect anything, I can go to connect accounts. Then I want to go to create. One other thing as well, just because I haven't mentioned it yet, they are giving you $25 off if you spend 75 or more. This is only open to new ads. So if you've never created an ad before, they'll give you that discount. They are really trying to push this because if a lot of people are using it, the more coupons Facebook will give us later on. So right now it's only for people who haven't done them, but if more people are using it, Facebook is going to be like, oh, well, we'll send you another 25 off for everybody. So just as like a quick heads up on that. Okay, let's go ahead and create a new ad. And I'm going to go ahead and hit social ad. And we're just going to call this a test campaign. And we're going to go ahead and do, what would you guys want to, what would you want to do? Would you want to do advertising a listing or maybe doing attracting buyers?
I would say attract a listing because that's what we always want to do is attract listings.
Right.
Definitely.
Unless somebody else wants
Did you see when I clicked that, what it did?
Yeah, oh, okay, gotcha.
Underneath here, it's going to say find sellers who are looking for agents who can sell their home.
Nice.
That's basically giving you just like a description of what you just clicked. Because if I was an agent and I clicked that and I wasn't sure what I clicked, I would want to know exactly what I'm clicking on.
Right.
So it's going to tell you now, find agents or find sellers rather who are looking for agents. Then what I can do is I can click on the type of campaign I want to run. So I'm going to say Facebook. You could do Instagram as well if you want to run it to Instagram too. If you have an Instagram business profile. I'm going to just do Facebook right now. And I think right now in this climate, like this particular climate, people are probably going to be doing a lot more Facebook advertising. Like I've been seeing it a lot. I was just jumping on a call earlier today and somebody was mentioning to me that people are doing ads around Zoom webinar links because you can create like a lead capture form in Zoom too. I didn't know this. Now that I know about it, I might do a video on that just to show you how you can create a webinar within Zoom. But I think they're doing this around open houses. So they're going to be creating these types of ads that will lead people to Zoom registration links. Could be an idea to work around too.
Yes, that sounds fantastic.
Let's go ahead and hit setup ad or setup campaign. And it's going to bring me to this screen here. So once this loads, it's kind of slow.
Is it slow today? Because it hadn't been this slow. Okay.
I was doing this before and it was like really slow. I'm just going to click out of that. Let's go ahead and add a listing first. So that's my first step anyway. Who wants to just throw out a listing that I can use as an example?
158 Magnolia.
Thanks, Gretchen. Here we go. We're going to hit select. And again, it's going super slow.
Okay.
So as I'm doing this, you see how it has it connected now, 158 Magnolia. Then it gives me some copy. So I do have some copy about the listing itself. Now, because I'm trying to attract sellers, essentially, I might tweak this text to be a little bit more in line with that particular objective. So you see here, even like where it says headline and description, now it's actually giving you like this, like its own kind of suggested text, needing to move. What's your home worth? It's like, you can use these if you want. You don't necessarily have to, but I know at least for me, sometimes finding a catchy headline, I don't want to spend like hours trying to think of something. So like I can go ahead and just say like, okay, let's just use what's your home worth?
Love that.
And then it'll have description as well. So description, and as I'm doing this, you'll notice on the right-hand side, it's starting to kind of like auto-populate some of what I'm doing. Under description here, you'll see it has another suggested text box, and I can just kind of shuffle between some of the text as well. Who you work with matters. If you're thinking of selling your home, contact us today. So that might be good even for like your team accounts.
Yeah.
Sorry. Did somebody have a question?
No, I said that's good.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, it's awesome. I really like that feature a lot. Also because of the AI, the Kelly that's powering like the kind of back end of the system. That's why it's able to give you those suggestions, because it knows like how other agents are using this system now. So like, because there's so many agents using it, it's able to kind of guide you in the right direction. And that's why it's giving you those suggestions. And that's why that dashboard now exists, because it has enough data to actually feed you that information.
Is it keywords? Is it finding keywords that people are using, or just what other agents are doing?
It's basing off like these suggestions based off how other agents are using the system. And I assume like as this kind of grows out more, they're going to have a lot more suggestions it can give you. So right now it only has like 2 or 3, but it's still like fairly new that it's even doing that. And I think it's still useful. So, but again, it's not like I have to use the suggested text. It's just there for me to use if I want to have something put together. Let's save add text here. So as I'm saving everything too, it's going to give me a little checkbox to let me know it's done. So like there's only really 2 additional steps I really need to do now, which is my add media and then my Facebook ad itself. So if we move into add media, that's where I can configure the images that I want to use for the campaign, or if I want to pop in a video as well. Again, as we're starting to move more into the virtual tour, virtual open house, Matterport stuff. If you're familiar with Matterport as well, they do allow you to create videos. So that you can create like a little virtual tour. I think there's an additional cost involved with that, but I know it's possible they can do it. But like little video clips, you know, short videos, or I can pull the images from the MLS, as you can see. So like, because it's connected with that listing right now, I can go in and kind of select which images I want to use. So I might use the exterior shot.
Yeah, the real pictures aren't in yet.
Yeah. So that's how, when was this listing added?
It's been on for like 60 days, but it just was finished. It was new construction, so it was just finished. So that David just did the pictures actually yesterday.
So as the photos get updated later, this listing will also update in here. So I would be able to essentially pull in the new images later once they're uploaded.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, I'm just gonna pull in a few of the sample ones, the cinema.
And that's such a huge time saver. I don't know how many of you guys have done this, but like I would have my assistant, this would be like this would be half of what she spent all her time on all week.
Mm-hmm. True.
So like it's like money, saving time. It's just incredible that these like auto populate. That is not what life has been like for most of us doing business.
I mean, I remember when I was doing Facebook ads with you, and like I would legit have to go through your Facebook account, go through the ad manager. I would have to go and spend, you know, however much time.
Right.
So, like, now this is all in one place.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't know. I mean, I've been through it all, but this is a huge money save, time save. It's incredible. And Chris will show you that, like, once you do an ad, right, Chris, it's almost like the thing I love about this too is that you can have kind of a look to what you want all your ads to look like. So, you know, it's so nice to have that like look and that branding that sort of always shows up the same. I feel like this is a great way to make that happen without having to spend a ton of money on a social media person.
For sure. So as I get like the media kind of compiled and I'm kind of happy with how this ad is starting to look, I can then go ahead and just save this now as well. The other cool thing with this, even if you're like creating your designs within the design tool, you can actually pull them in from here too. Because if I go back, if I hit add more, there's an option here to add images, and then I can choose from my design library. So let's say I want to pull in a nice for sale, like, you know, I can go here and hit that.
Is that
Yeah.
already there, Chris, or did you put that in there?
This one I created in a class. So this design was already living in my library, but you could, like if I had designs created, I can pull it in very simply into here as well.
Cool.
And then that
Okay.
one also appears, you see.
Yeah, so cool.
And how are you changing that picture?
This picture I had created as a design template previously. So what I did was I just essentially went into designs, I created it with a template, and then I just pulled in the images. I think I have a video on this. When I actually did this, I created a video and I actually pulled it into an ad for Facebook. I can post the link in the chat after this.
I was just going to say, Chris, would you do that? Would you post maybe 2 or 3 videos that you think would be relevant to, you know, this group of agents here to get them, like, I love the campaigns, but, you know, designs and opportunities to me would be the other things that I personally think, you know, I want people to be plugging in my team, you know, on my team and whatnot. That's great stuff. If you want to share that with us, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Mhm.
After I go through this, I'll pull in the video links that I have.
Cool.
All right, so really there's only one additional step, and that's choosing my the business page I wanted to run to. So if you recall, when I connected my Facebook earlier, it already pulls in the pages that I manage. So I can go into here, I can say I want to, you know, run it to the Town Life page. I can go ahead and hit that. This would obviously be your business page. I'm just pulling in the ones that I manage. So this is showing Town Life, right?
Right.
Right.
And then now it's going to say, where's the destination going to go? So where do I want to have that ad lead people to? Do I want them to fill out a form, or do I want to just have them go directly to a site? Obviously, if I'm doing my lead gen, I want them to have to click through first, right? And this one wasn't already set up for lead gen. So you can actually see now what I'm doing. So if you haven't already connected your page to Facebook's, they have like a guideline. It's gonna give you a pop-up like this. And all you have to do is hit accept, like now it's accepted, right? But you can also do it like, I can do it under all these different pages I have if I wanted to. So now it's set up. I can go ahead and, oh, I don't know why it's not letting me do that. Let me do it on a different one. Let me see if that works. Yeah, there we go, cool. I'll go back and look at that in a little bit, but you can see here now it's giving me that suggestion, which is use Facebook lead gen form. So basically what it does is when I'm creating an ad, the call to action right here that says learn more, when a person clicks on that, it's going to give them a form that has to be filled out. Because it's connected with Facebook, what Facebook actually does is it takes the information under that person's profile and just auto populates it into the lead gen form.
Nice.
So like the name, email, phone number, like the basic information, I think it's just those 3.
Okay.
It's going to auto populate into that submission box. And then when you hit submit, it's already going to be in your database here. And then I'll also show you a shortcut from the home screen where you can also find those leads, because now there's a lead widget on the home screen on the dashboard. And that will show you all the new leads that are kind of filtering in, whether it be from your
nice.
app, your consumer app, your agent website, or landing pages even. So let's choose a follow-up destination URL. I'll probably have these people going back to my website, or maybe I want them to download my app. You know, I can choose whichever one I want to use. You can also create landing pages as well if you wanted to have them lead out to a landing page. I think for this example, I'm going to use my app. So this is under this choose site option here. So it's already says download my app.
That's already there, right? That just like
Yeah.
automatically is.
That was already there for me.
Okay, cool.
So step 2 is complete. Now what I want to do is I want to go to step 3, which is ad targeting. So right now what it does is it's going to choose Tenafly as the target because that's where the address is. But let's say I want to target a different area. Maybe I want to target, maybe I want to target Closter or Alpine, or maybe I want to target Woodcliff Lake, or maybe I want to even just target the county. If I do custom settings here, what I can do is I can choose a specific location, and it does let you do counties. Unfortunately, with Facebook and housing ads, they're considered special. I'm trying to think of the word it's called. It's special ads. I think that's what it's called. And basically, it doesn't allow you to target by zip code or age range. So if you're doing any sort of housing ads on Facebook, even if you're doing them directly through Facebook, you can't do it. It's just like an equal housing thing right now. So let's say I'm going to choose, but we could do a county. So I'm going to use Bergen County as the example. And then let's say I want to do the target radius. 20 miles is what Facebook suggests as like the minimum target range. But you could do however many miles you want. Maybe I'll do 25. And that's going to create a radius for Bergen County. And I believe that it creates the center point in Hackensack. That's what I've been told.
All right.
So basically, it'll create a radius around that area and then just kind of blow it out for 25 miles.
So just a quick question as you're going. I always thought it made sense to, narrow the search and sort of narrow the kind of the funnel. In this case, you're saying the opposite, sounds like. You're saying, so tell me, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so it used to be, and I recall back on Facebook maybe a few years ago, they used to let you do a minimum range of like 5 miles. And because this is a housing ad, they would now consider that as being discriminatory, like as if you're limiting it to who it can actually go out to.
Okay.
So that's why they don't let you do zip codes anymore either, because when you're doing a
Oh.
zip code, you're able to literally target like, a 2-3 mile radius.
Right.
Now it's basically you can't do that anymore.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's why the radius that they suggest is 20 miles. And if you do anything less than that, it becomes, this is what I've been told from Facebook as well, is that 15 miles is essentially not going to get the amount of reach you should be getting if you're doing it for this type of ad.
Okay.
That's what Steve Gundel also said. So anything below 20 miles, you're not going to get the amount of reach you would potentially get.
Okay.
So just as a quick heads up. And I hope that made sense.
Yeah, it did for me.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So really there's no, the last thing you can do, they're calling expert targeting. And I wouldn't be kind of overwhelmed by that phrase because it's not really expert targeting in my opinion. You're really just selecting the interest of a potential lead. So I already know if I'm targeting a specific area or I'm trying to find leads, I'd probably want to target things that they would potentially be interested in, which I mean, Zillow is always like one of the popular ones. So I always put Zillow in there. But maybe I'm also trying to target people who are commuting to the city. So maybe I'll do commuting. And then I can go through here. And if I'm like stumped or I'm not sure, like, oh, I'm not sure what other interest I want to add. Well, I can go through this interest list as well. And it does give you like just a kind of like a drop down of all the types of interests you can choose from.
I mean, I love that it has an estimated audience on the other side. This is
Yeah.
incredible.
Architecture. You can go into like AI audits, the list goes on because this is something like, at least for me, because there's so many different types of interests, I might miss some if I don't go through here. So I always will just kind of check and see if there's any that I might think are relevant.
Right.
So that's, what is relevant to the ad really? What are you trying to target?
Okay.
And again, like with Facebook beforehand, you could have been very specific about like the demographic, what type of income they were making. Unfortunately, you can't do that anymore. So now you have to be kind of a little bit broader, but you can still go through here and just see what interests are relevant to your ad and then just kind of pop them in here, I've also heard that this one's really good too, mortgage loans. Somebody was talking to me about this when he was putting them together. He uses this one a lot. So that's just another one you can think about. So let's save the selection. So basically now we have our full ad, you know, we're good to go. We can hit save ad media or save ad, Facebook ad rather. And then from here, I can choose the duration and budget. Now the duration and budget that it initially sets is basically like their suggested duration and budget. So 10 days, $30 budget. I would say anywhere between $30 to $50 between 10 to 20 days. I think that's a pretty modest budget and duration. You can definitely get a good amount of bang for your buck with just this as well. Like I've done these with agents who are doing just the standard $25, $30 for however many days, up to 10 days. If you're doing like 5 days, if you're doing like an open house on the weekend, you know, 5 days is also pretty good. Because just as like a heads up as well, it does take 1 day to actually start. As you can see, it's labeled for the 24th, which is tomorrow. Because it has to go through the Facebook kind of like review process. That's why they give it that kind of like leeway. And that's why you're seeing that it always starts a day after you kind of go in here to set it up.
Should I do the full 75 on this one particular ad? Or if I'm doing 2 different ads, would Facebook recognize it for me to get the 25 off?
Somebody asked me that same question and it doesn't, unfortunately. So you're saying like if you run one ad for like
50 and one for 25?
Yeah.
I have to do 75 one-shot deal to get that. Okay, that's fine.
I can reach out to, I don't know if I would have to reach out to Facebook or KW support, and I can see if maybe they would allow you to do that. But as far as I know, you have to actually do it all in one shot because I think it counts as the first ad.
I was on the, I was hoping that it would be that, you know how you have to put it's like a wallet. You put on a certain amount, and once you put that certain amount, then they would give you.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
You literally spend it.
Yeah. Right. That's I can look into that a little bit further because somebody else asked me that and I was under the impression you have to actually do it all in the one specific ad for it to actually work.
Because I know that before Command, like I used the Facebook ads, and you know, you sort of put monies in, and then it sort of disperses depending on how you want the ad to run. Like you see that, like if I want to spend $5 a day, $2 a day, but then you have to have it in there so that it could be automatically dispersed.
Yeah, it still creates essentially like what you're saying, like a wallet.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you just so happen to not spend all of it, it creates like a credit on your account that goes towards like a new ad. So I know it does that. Like if I go and leave this for a second, I don't know if it has it up here. If I go to payments, maybe. You see where it says remaining credit?
Right.
So like for whatever reason, I had an ad that was running and I had it for $30, but it only spent like the 25, you know, it would put $5 in my credit. And then that would go towards a new ad later on. So if I spent like $30 on a new ad, it would essentially be spending 35.
Right. So that's what I thought. That's what you know, you would have that budget overall, and then as it goes, when you know it dwindles down, depending, you know, as the days go by.
Yeah.
And then you replenish and all that. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
That will be.
Thanks, guys. I gotta go. Chris,
Bye.
I'm gonna get back with you. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, Greg.
Bye, guys. Nice to see you.
Let me go into go to YouTube history here. Where's my, sorry.
Oh, this is 3 o'clock.
And Chris, I know you're very generous with your time as well, but Chris has a meeting at 3 with Stephen Gandel as well that he is.
Yeah, so I'm gonna hop off in just a minute. I want to be able to just to share. I'm gonna share this YouTube channel, but then I'll send everybody just a group email with the types of things I would kind of go into from here because we posted a lot of those live streams This was the one I did the other day that I mentioned with the 5-minute designs that I then put into a Facebook ad.
Okay.
And then Elise was doing a class on opportunities yesterday that I uploaded, which was also really good. So
Okay.
yeah, I'll
Yeah, I
post.
follow this one. I like it.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, this has been awesome for us because it's just a way to kind of keep track of, if somebody asks me a question and we already had it recorded, I can easily go in there and direct them to that, so they're not kind of like, waiting for me to actually set up an appointment or do the class again.
Right.
That sounds awesome.
So Chris, thank you. I appreciate your time in coming in. And guys, Natalia and Chris are available for, meetings one-on-one to actually get stuff done for you. All
Oh,
right.
wow.
Like,
Yeah. I would also say, like, I can always jump into these ALC meetings. I know I've been, before this all happened, I was doing that, but I think we're trying to get a little bit more organized now, so I can definitely start doing this more.
cool. Thank you, Chris. We appreciate you.
Thank you. I
All right.
appreciate it.
All right. I'll talk to you all later.
All right. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Guys, I hope that was helpful.
Very, very.
So
Definitely
now
helpful.
we want you to play with it and use it. And I mean, if I were you, like Ron, you might be looking for buyers specifically, but I would be running ads to attract listings.